For much more on all things Capilano. Now joining us is the course superintendent, Stu Sheridan. Stu, welcome to Golf Talk Canada.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks for having me.
It's good to see you, my friend. So, Capilano, when everyone thinks about Capilano, they think about brilliance, they think about unbelievable views as well. But for someone who hasn't been on the property before, how would you describe the golf course?
I think it's a mix of an amazing golf course with spectacular scenery. I think the views down to Vancouver and up to the mountains, surrounded by a great golf course surrounded by huge Douglas firs and Western red cedar trees. It's a spectacular natural golf course, which is great.
And for you, the superintendent, how much pride do you take in making sure the course is in tip-top shape, regardless of what season we're in?
Yeah, that's what our team is all about. So I think we have some team members who have been at the club for 45 years and 36 years, and then some people who've just started at the club. So the whole team takes a lot of pride in it, especially the guys who have been here a long time. It's a spectacular property, and our job is to make it shine and make it look as good and play as good as possible throughout the whole year. So yeah, we take a lot of pride in that.
And there's a lot of great holes on the property, but is there a signature hole at Capilano?
I think if you look up the club, I think you might see a lot of photos of number 14, which is our par three, actually over our entrance road, which is pretty spectacular. The top four holes, especially number 18, a big par five to finish, is pretty special as well. So personally struggle to pick a favorite hole. I think it can depend on the day. I think that's what makes the golf course so unique is you can play it once and you will remember each hole because I think they're all a bit special.
Now, I personally haven't been on the property before, but before we started doing this interview, you and your team sent me some drone footage of the
Yeah.
golf course. And I'm just going to be honest with you, Stu, my jaw was on the ground because this place, it looks amazing. Just in your mind, just how incredible are the views at Capilano?
I think the views are almost second to none. The fact that you can see a major city, downtown Vancouver, from a few of the holes as you play downhill away from the clubhouse, and then you come back up towards the clubhouse, which is the highest point, and you get that mountain setting, big bowl of mountains right behind the clubhouse to the north. It's just spectacular. And I think that's one thing that makes the golf course so special is the scale of the property. We've got wide fairways, big bunkers, huge Pacific Northwest trees, and then it's all complemented by these huge views as well. So it all works spectacularly together.
Now, I'd love to ask you about your own personal background too, because you've worked at some pretty cool places. We got Muirfield Village, we got Bay Hill, Ireland as well. Tell our audience about some of your background and where you've worked.
Yeah, so I started my career back in Ireland at my home golf course. I did my education back there, and then I was fortunate to move to the US and intern with the Ohio program, and they placed me at Muirfield Village in Dublin, Ohio, Dublin of all places, but Dublin, Ohio. And then I spent 6 months at Muirfield with the Memorial Tournament before going down to Orlando, Florida to Bay Hill for 6 months with an internship as well. So, and then that kind of all set up the door to come up to Canada. And it's worked out very well here, becoming the superintendent at Capilano, probably one of the top clubs in the country. So it's been a good journey.
Yeah, for sure. And when people think about Muirfield Village in particular, they think of one of the best manicured golf courses on the PGA Tour Rhoda. What kind of lessons did you take from your experiences at Muirfield Village, at Bay Hill, throughout your time in Ireland as well, that you've been able to apply to your current role at Capilano?
Yeah, I think each property that I've worked at back in Ireland at Nace Golf Club, Muirfield and Bay Hill, I definitely took something different from each place. I would say you hit the nail on the head there with Muirfield Village. Um, Probably the standard of golf course conditioning from my experience and where I've spent time working. It's really a spectacular property and how they run it there. So yeah, each experience gave me something different, but it's been a good journey to come here.
And come here you have, and you've been there since 2013. How
Sure.
much has the course evolved in your time at Capilano?
There's been a good amount of change. I think the one thing that has been fantastic here is the members' investment in the club. I think there's a great sense of the tradition, and and adhering to the Stanley Thompson original design philosophy that we've always had. We work with Doug Carrick as our consulting golf course architect, and we've done a lot of tree work over the years. We've done a lot of work with our bunker renovation. Over the last 2 years, we did a big project around our first tee pro shop, new putting green, and our 18th green surround. So there's been a lot of work that's been done at the golf course in my time here, but still a few things that we're looking at as well. So I think that's what helps the club always stay special and stay relevant for the modern game as well.
And with those projects you're now talking about, how much are you looking forward to continue to grow and evolve with Capilano as the golf course itself grows and changes?
Yeah, I think that's the exciting part about the job and about the club as well. It's never ending. I don't think there will ever be a point where we'll be, okay, hands off, we're finished. I think we always, being a golf course in the Pacific Northwest, the growth and the change, how the property naturally changes here is quite dramatic over the years. So we do have to always do a lot of work to maintain that and make sure we're keeping things as they should be. So it's never ending, but that's the excitement of it and the fun with it as well.
And as we wrap here, Stu, I mean, annually, Capilano is always near the top of course rankings list in Canada. In your mind, what sets Capilano apart from some of the competition?
That's a great question. I think it's all those things that we've talked about before. I think the golf course is so good. And I know we have the spectacular views and we have the spectacular Pacific Northwest trees, but I think the golf course and each individual golf hole is what separates the course. And then the routing, I think that's what we're probably most famous for is how Stanley Thompson routed the golf course down the hill, 300 feet of elevation change, back up the hill. But it's a very it's a very doable walk, and a lot of our members walk, which is great. So uh, I think that's the genius behind it.
Well, Capilano is a must-attend destination in Canada. I haven't been yet being the key word. I'm looking forward to getting out west to Capilano at some point, hopefully very soon. Stu, congratulations on all the success you've had personally and at Capilano. All the best to you going forward, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, Adam. Thanks for having me.